There are cars that look great when they're new, packed with technology, status, and comfort, but they hide a serious problem. They lose more than half of their value in just a few years. And this doesn't happen to just one or two specific models. It happens to cars that a lot of people buy thinking they're making a smart deal. Today I'm going to show you 10 cars that, based on real data from the US market, are likely to lose around 50% of their value before 2027. This isn't an opinion, it's not a guess, and it's not a prediction. These are real numbers from the American car market. This data comes from a US study that analyzed more than 800,000 used cars and measured how much value each model lost after 5 years. The criteria is simple. Only cars that have already lost more than 50% of their value in that time period make this list. Enough talk. Let's get to the cars, starting with number 10. Number 10 on the list is the Cadillac Escalade ESV, a full-size luxury SUV that many people buy for the status, space, and road presence. But in the US market, it's also one of the vehicles that loses value the fastest. According to data from IC Cars, the Escalade ESV depreciates by an average of 62.9% over 5 years, which means a loss of about $57,000 compared to what it cost when it was brand new at the dealership. Why does it lose so much value? First, because it's a large SUV with a very high cost of ownership. Maintenance, tires, brakes, fuel consumption, and any repairs outside the warranty add up quickly and scare off used car buyers. Second, buyers in this segment usually want the newest model possible, which significantly reduces demand for 5-year-old versions. And third, once this Escalade hits the used market, it has to compete with other large luxury SUVs that offer better value for the money or a stronger reputation for reliability. What really stands out here is the size of the loss in actual dollars. This isn't a cheap car losing a high percentage. This is an expensive vehicle losing nearly $57,000 on average in just 5 years. And that happens even though the Escalade is one of the most iconic SUVs in the United States. These numbers come from real sales of 5-year-old used vehicles. So this isn't an estimate or a prediction, it's what the market actually paid. Number 9 on the list is the Tesla Model X, a premium electric SUV that stands out for its performance, technology, and its unique rear doors. In the US market, however, it experiences one of the steepest drops in value. Data from IC Cars shows that the Model X loses an average of 63.4% of its value over 5 years, which translates to a loss of roughly $53,000 compared to what it cost when it was brand new at the dealership. This depreciation happens mainly for 3 reasons. The first is the price cuts made by Tesla itself over the years, which immediately push down the value of used models. The second is the rapid evolution of electric vehicle technology, which makes a 5-year-old model feel outdated in terms of range, software, and efficiency. And the third is the fact that it's an expensive vehicle once it's out of warranty, which scares off used car buyers due to the risk of costly repairs. Number 8 on the list is the Maserati Levante, an Italian luxury SUV that looks great and performs well when it's new, but faces strong rejection in the US used car market. The Levante loses an average of 63.7% of its value over 5 years, which represents a drop of nearly $65,000 compared to what it cost when it was brand new at the dealership. The main reason for this heavy depreciation is the combination of a niche brand and a high cost of ownership. In the US market, Maserati vehicles have a reputation for expensive maintenance and below-average reliability, which becomes a major concern once the vehicle is out of warranty. On top of that, buyers shopping for a used luxury SUV tend to prioritize brands with larger dealer networks, more predictable maintenance costs, and easier resale, which dramatically reduces demand for the Levante after a few years. Number 7 on the list is the Nissan Leaf, one of the best-selling electric vehicles in US history, but also one of the biggest losers in terms of value. The Leaf shows an average depreciation of 64.1% over 5 years. In dollar terms, that means a loss of around $18,000 compared to what it cost when it was new at the dealership. The absolute loss is smaller than with luxury cars, but proportionally, the drop is massive. The main reason for this is the aging technology of older generations. 5-year-old versions offer much lower driving range compared to today's standards, along with slower charging and fewer software features. Because the EV market has evolved so quickly, a used Leaf ends up competing with newer, more efficient models, often for only a small difference in price, which pushes its resale value down even further. Number 6 on the list is the BMW 5 Series Hybrid, a hybrid version of one of the most traditional luxury sedans in the US market. Even with its focus on efficiency and technology, this model suffers heavy depreciation. The 5 Series Hybrid loses an average of 64.7% of its value over 5 years, which translates to a drop of roughly $47,000 compared to what it cost when it was brand new at the dealership. This depreciation happens because it combines two problematic factors in the used car market: luxury and complex technology. Used car buyers often avoid out-of-warranty luxury hybrid sedans due to concerns about expensive batteries, electronics, and specialized maintenance. On top of that, large sedans have lost ground in the US to SUVs, which further reduces demand and puts additional pressure on prices after a few years of ownership. Number 5 on the list is the Maserati Ghibli, a luxury sports sedan that delivers performance, engine sound, and road presence when new, but also suffers one of the biggest cash losses in the entire ranking. The Ghibli loses an average of 64.7% of its value over 5 years, which translates to a drop of approximately $71,000 compared to what it cost when it was brand new at the dealership. This is one of the largest absolute losses on the list. The reason for this extreme depreciation is very clear in the US market. The Ghibli is an expensive luxury sedan with high maintenance costs, questionable reliability, and low liquidity in the used car market. Once it's out of warranty, the pool of interested buyers shrinks dramatically, and anyone considering a used one demands deep discounts to take on the risk. On top of that, large sedans have lost relevance in the US compared to SUVs, which makes even a Maserati hard to resell after a few years. Number 4 on the list is the Infiniti QX80, a large luxury SUV that relies on space, comfort, and a V8 engine to attract buyers when new. However, in the US market, it suffers a significant loss in value over time. The QX80 shows an average depreciation of 65.0% over 5 years, which represents a loss of approximately $53,500 compared to what it cost when it was brand new at the dealership. This depreciation happens because the QX80 faces a classic problem with large luxury SUVs: high operating costs and weak demand in the used car market. High fuel consumption, expensive maintenance, and limited technological differentiation compared to newer competitors cause interest to drop quickly once the warranty expires. On top of that, the Infiniti brand has lost strength in the premium segment in the US in recent years, which directly impacts buyer confidence and puts even more pressure on resale values. Number 3 on the list is the BMW 7 Series, the German brand's flagship luxury sedan, focused on comfort, technology, and high-end features. When new, it's an expensive and extremely sophisticated car, but in the US market, that doesn't translate into strong resale value. The 7 Series loses an average of 67.1% of its value over 5 years, which equals a drop of about $65,000 compared to what it cost when it was brand new at the dealership. This depreciation happens because the 7 Series checks nearly every box the used car market penalizes. It's a large luxury sedan packed with technology, expensive to maintain, and has a very limited audience once it's out of warranty. Buyers who purchase it new usually want the latest version at all times, while used car buyers demand massive discounts to take on the cost and complexity. On top of that, in the US, large sedans have lost ground to SUVs, which causes even a top-tier BMW to face strong rejection after a few years. Number 2 on the list is the Tesla Model S, the electric sedan that for many years symbolized status, innovation, and performance in the US market. Even so, it suffers one of the largest depreciations in the ranking. The Model S loses an average of 65.2% of its value over 5 years, which represents a drop of approximately $52,000 compared to what it cost when it was brand new at the dealership. This loss happens mainly because of Tesla's own pricing strategy. Over the years, the brand has made several aggressive price cuts on new models, which immediately push down the value of used vehicles. In addition, the rapid evolution of electric vehicle technology makes 5-year-old versions feel outdated in terms of range, software, and features. For used car buyers, that means paying a high price for a car that no longer represents cutting-edge technology, forcing the market to adjust prices downward. The number 1 car on the list is the Jaguar I-Pace, the absolute champion of depreciation. When it was launched, the I-Pace received praise for its design, performance, and for being one of the first luxury electric SUVs on the market. Even so, in the US market, it records the largest value drop in the entire study. The I-Pace loses an average of 72.2% of its value over 5 years, which represents a loss of approximately $52,000 compared to what it cost when it was brand new at the dealership. This extreme depreciation happens because the I-Pace combines several negative factors at the same time. It's a luxury electric vehicle from a brand with low demand in the US, and will used car market, and it has been heavily pressured by the rapid evolution of newer EVs. On top of that, the model's range and technology have fallen behind more recent competitors, while high maintenance costs and uncertainty once it's out of warranty push buyers away. The result is simple. When it hits the used market, the price has to collapse for someone to take it, and that's why it finishes as number 1 on the list. After seeing this list, it becomes clear that the biggest loss when buying a new car isn't fuel, insurance, or maintenance. It's how much value the car loses over time. Most of the vehicles on this list have something in common. They're electric, luxury vehicles, or both at the same time, exactly the segments the US market penalizes the most once the car is out of warranty. That doesn't mean these are bad cars. On the contrary, many of them are excellent when new. But in the real world, the person who buys new pays for the launch, the technology, and the status, while the used car buyer benefits from the heavy discount left behind by depreciation. Understanding this is what separates people who lose money from those who buy strategically. If this type of analysis helps you make better decisions, it's worth subscribing to the channel. Here, we look at cars the way the market does, with numbers, not emotion.